All right, I think we are live now. Once again, everybody, if you could just let us know that you can hear us okay, that you can see us okay. Theresa is busy doing her energy shot apparently right now. That's how she gets her day started. You gotta say something to come up on camera, Theresa.
Oh, sorry. There it is, my Isogenics E shot.
So when she does a listing party, she is serious business. Okay, so I'm here with Victoria. She's only going to be with us for a little bit at the beginning because she's got more photos to take. But welcome, everybody. Super excited to have you here for our first live show for Boss Up and List. If there's any indication by the activity in the thread this morning in the Boss Facebook group, it seems like everybody's having a really good time with this, and this has inspired a lot of people to get to work and make some stuff happen. It's been really active in there this morning, so I'm super excited about that. Or I guess this afternoon. I don't know. It all runs together for me.
Because I've been taking pictures.
Yeah, it's been a really super busy day for us. We had to go to City Hall and do some like business license stuff, and then we had to like do all of our shipping. And I actually ran into was doing my shipping until like 12:30, so I got a little bit of a late start on my own listing party. What's up with that? But how's it going over there for you, Theresa?
I had a class this morning for eBay newbies, and that was fun. And so people are going to come back and take pictures, and I've got somebody here that's going to take some pictures in a little bit and start listing. And yeah, so I've been going.
Awesome. And you've got your Shut Up and List t-shirt on right now. Hashtag Shut Up and List. I love it. Actually, I'll go and edit the description for this video later so people get the link to that if they want one, because I think it's pretty awesome. It's like your little tagline, which is kind of like what I was playing off of with the Boss Up and List. So thanks to you for that. And I'm actually wearing my Boss t-shirt that I found this week. While I love it because it's got kind of that retro look, like the color blocking and everything. And of course, it says Boss with the lion on it. So it's pretty awesome. Looks like we have 31 people watching right now. So that's really, really cool.
It is cool. 31 people being productive today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yay. Yeah. On a Monday. Yay.
Yay. It's a good start to the month. So a couple of things I wanted to say. Okay, we were talking when we talked about this before. We talked about doing prizes, Theresa. Do you remember us talking about that? So we're gonna make that happen. She's like, I don't know, but listen, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna do prizes, okay, guys? So we're gonna come up with some sort of like eBay swag between myself and Theresa and Victoria. We should be able to come up with some cool stuff. So I wanted to tell you guys kind of like how I'm going to do the whole prize thing. Okay. So for everybody participating, what we're going to do at the live show on Wednesday that closes out the whole event at 7 p.m. Pacific, you don't need to be watching in order to win. You can find out later if you won or not. But the way to get an entry, there's multiple ways. Okay. Because I'm going to do basically like a random drawing. So you can get an entry for every day that you comment and participate in the thread in the Boss Facebook group. So it's just one entry per day. So, and we're not going to count Wednesday because I'm not going to be like sitting there trying to count people and figure that out on Wednesday during the listing party. So today you can get one entry by commenting on the Boss thread for Boss Up and List in the Facebook group. And then you can also get one entry by commenting on this video, not in the chat like you guys are right now, but like once the show is over, if you go and you comment on this YouTube video in the comment section down below, that will get you a second entry. So basically you can get an entry today in the Boss Facebook group thread, and you can get an entry in the comment section of this video after the live show is over. And then tomorrow you can get another entry for the Boss thread in the Facebook group and another entry in the comment section of the YouTube video after the live show. So that's 4 times that you can potentially enter. And then we'll do on the live show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. To 8 p.m. I will do a random drawing. And so you'll have up to 4 chances to win some awesome eBay swag. And then there'll be one other prize that we'll do, and that'll only be for the people who are there participating in the live show on Wednesday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll figure out some way to choose a winner for that. But if you are participating in the live chat on that night, you will be able to potentially win another prize. So those are a couple ways that you guys can participate in this and win. So just make sure that you're being active in the Boss group. If you're not in the group already, go ahead and try to get into that. We're going to have the link is down in the description to the Boss group on Facebook. So go ahead and request that you get into that group, and we'll get you in there so you can participate in that. And then also make sure you're commenting on these videos after the live shows are over so that they're down in the comment threads. Does that make sense, everybody? All right.
Am I eligible?
Sure, you're eligible. I'm going to be doing it all.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing.
I don't know what the prizes are.
You're eligible.
I'm going to be doing it all live, so you guys. I'll even share the screen so you'll see the random number generator do its thing. So it'll be all transparent. You'll all know who the winners are and stuff. What's that, Theresa?
So I just got a text. Okay, so I have to tell you this because we have a third admin in the boss group. Her name is Jenny Young, who is an eBay seller, and she's kind of been on hiatus because she moved and then she, you know, the whole thing, and she got a job. And so she just texted me that she listed 2 things in our listing party, and she's so excited.
Yay!
So Jenny Young, she's the third admin, and I put her in the ad because when I started the group, I needed a second person in the group, so I always use Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
And so there you go. And it's working because now she's got 2 listings up, and she hasn't listed in like a year and a half.
Woohoo! That is awesome. So Theresa, what are your listing goals for today? What's your plan for today?
My listing goals right now is to stay awake. I didn't think about this when I decided to do a class at 10 o'clock on Monday mornings, but Monday mornings I have a 6 a.m. Mastermind call, which is normally fine, but I didn't go to bed till 3. And so it's like, I am dragging right now, but I'm going to be up and I'm going to be smiling and I'm going to pretend like I'm all here.
I thought you never had to sleep, Theresa. You're like breaking the illusion for me.
She's like the Energizer Bunny. She sleeps like 2.5 hours a night.
Well, now we know she's drinking all those like energy drinks.
Seriously.
You know, it's so funny because my friend that's here listing, she likes these a lot. I don't really like them. And so I always give her one when she's here. And I said, I think I need one of these today. So I'm just trying it. But yeah, they're not my favorite thing. But
so today you're desperate.
I'm desperate today. So so my listing goals are, I have a bunch of pictures that I took. So I'm just gonna, you know, try to knock some out. I'm gonna list on my new store. I'm kind of bummed because my new store has been up and it's got 524 items in it, and it's been up for about a week. And my Seller Hub is a whole page of zeros.
Oh man, that's rough.
It is rough, and it's like it's a good reminder for what it's like for new sellers. So I'm going to start listing on there to try to, you know, boost that. And I'm going to list on the old store too, just because I need to keep both of them going.
And again, you're in a unique situation because you have inventory in 2 different geographical locations. And so you decided to open a second store so that you could have a separate store for each of the 2 locations, so that when you go on vacation, it doesn't affect the other store. When the people that do the shipping for your other location, when they go on vacation, it doesn't affect your, like, right? That's what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, right now my store is dead because it was on vacation for 2 weeks, while I was in Vegas, and then a week while Sydney was on spring break. And so it's like, it's hard to get moving again. So I may rethink this. I'm testing it out, and I may rethink it by July. But let me tell you that I spent my $50 coupon this morning from that new store already. So I want to talk about prizes. I will give away a roll of the 3-inch tape. I bought 12 rolls of 3-inch tape today. So I'll give away more than one, but a couple rolls of tape for this thing. And then I bought 200 of the new postcards, and I'll give away some rendition of I've got somebody to trade purple. I've got somebody to trade the blue ones with. So I'll probably give away some yellow ones.
All right.
My goal is to have 200 red thank you cards.
And if you guys don't know, Theresa's favorite color is red. So
it's green.
That's my favorite color for real. Okay, Vicki, what are your goals?
Well, so I have an office full of stuff that I picked up on Friday and Saturday, just this past Friday and Saturday. My goals for the week are try to get everything photographed and listed that's there. I got about a third of it photographed yesterday and today so far. I've got about 10 more pictures to take, and then I'm going to buckle down and just list today. Yeah, that's really my goal. I just got to try and get as much done as possible. That's it. I mean, I'm not quitting. I've got another at least 5 or 6 hours of work in front of me. So here we go.
Yeah, we'll be working beyond this 5-hour window. And really, to be honest, Vicki and I, neither one of us really struggle that much with the listing part of it. We're both pretty obsessive with making sure that we get everything listed as soon as we source it. So we don't have a lot of problem with the motivation side of things. For me, I would say my biggest challenge is really organizing my inventory and keeping that where it needs to be. And so she will agree with me. I actually have to go to Costco tomorrow because I'm out of my bins. My awesome bins I get at Costco, they're black with the yellow tops. I like to have all of them be the same size because it just works really well for me. And I need like 4 more so I can put the rest of my stuff away. That's the area I struggle with. I don't even know what do you have like a weak point? I'm trying to think of like what it is that you have.
I'm perfect. I don't.
She is perfect. No, but she doesn't have a problem with her stuff, getting her stuff put away. Or...
No, my biggest problem is probably I procrastinate on getting photos done. You know, I do have my friend / assistant Dana that comes in usually 1 day a week now. And
she hates taking pictures, and she kind of complains the whole time.
I do. I'm miserable. I'm whiny about it. It's not my favorite thing of the process. Obviously, everybody loves to shop, and I don't mind the shipping. I don't mind listing. Picture taking, I hate. And I do a lot of hard goods. So, you know, changing everything up, cleaning it up, getting it ready to prep and photograph, it's kind of a pain in the neck. So I don't like it. But Dana comes and she does pictures 1 day a week for about 4 hours, and that definitely helps me out a lot. But it's not enough, obviously, to get everything done. So I do it on the other, you know, for the other items. So that's probably where I procrastinate the most.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually gonna kick Vicki out of here because she has like a bunch of work that she wants to get done.
Bye, everybody. Work hard.
But I was forcing her to be to come and make an appearance. So thank you.
When you get bored, come back and visit.
Yeah. No, she's got a lot to do. Anyway, so as far as my goals go, I am hoping to get, I think I put in the thread like 25 to 30 new listings each of these 3 days. Again, I don't have a huge problem with like keeping on top of like the listing part of it, but I do want to get a big push in my listings. I've only done 4 so far today, you guys. I had a little bit of a late start because I was getting all of my shipping done. I had like a bunch of kind of more complicated things to package up. Like I do a lot of t-shirts, which are super easy, and like jackets, you gotta just throw them in a poly bag. But I actually had 5 pairs of shoes I had to send out today, and it was kind of I know, right? So good problem to have. I had 5 pairs of shoes that I had to do, and it was challenging figuring out the cheapest way to get them shipped. And I actually was able to do I think I was able to do 5 different packages through fitshipper.com. And I was actually able to save like quite a bit of money by doing it that way. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Do you have the USPS shoe boxes?
I do. I do. And you know what? They actually made them smaller. Where do I have them? Hold on a second. Let me grab them real quick. So they actually
because if they're smaller, then you don't even have to cut them down to get into that lower cubic rate, right?
Well, you do have to cut them down a little bit, but you know, the thing about these, let me see if I can open it up. This is the shoe box right here. The thing about these is they're actually super easy to cut down. Like I don't really have a problem like cutting them down, because all you got to do if you just like cut the flaps off and then just do a little cut down each corner, it's really easy to just fold it down. And what's cool about that Fit Shipper website, and there's other ones that do like the cubic priority rates, but what's really nice about them is that you put in your measurements, your dimensions, and then it'll tell you what the price is with the cubic priority rates. And then you can click on this little thing and it'll calculate like how much you need to adjust your measurements in order to get to the next step down. So like
like to cut your box down an inch or something like that.
It'll be like, if you just go down ½ an inch on your length, you're basically going to go from a tier 0.4 to a tier 0.3 and save $4 or whatever it is. So I love that. That's like, I think it's the best thing ever.
I wonder how, like the post office randomly will weigh a package. I wonder how often they actually measure one.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but.
Me neither. I don't want to find out.
You don't want to find out. I mean, I definitely know that there's sellers out there who will, send everything first class, even if it's over £1. And it's like they get away with it for a while, but it's like at some point you're not going to get away with it. And then you're going to end up really making your buyers super angry, because the last thing I would want to do is order something and then have the post office tell me that I owe more money. So it's just kind of a pain.
Yeah, I had that. I had a Christmas tree in a box, and I shipped it, and the address was undeliverable, and it cost me, so I paid to ship it to the buyer. It cost me $11.50 to get that back. And I'm annoyed because actually that's not the seller's part. That's not the buyer's problem. I don't know what happened with it. But it wasn't deliverable. So $11.50, I didn't like paying that.
They have like a new thing where it's the post office working with the different companies that do labels and like do shipping. And so with eBay, I've had it happen once now where they will actually either charge you more or refund you if you've overpaid for your shipping. So rather than, so let's say I buy a label through eBay and I send it to my buyer and it ends up that I underpaid, like because I misweighed it and I owe like an extra $5. The way it's supposed to work now is that eBay will actually charge your account an extra $5 so that your buyer isn't put out, but they'll also refund you. Like I got credited back. It was like I had overstated the weight and I actually got a credit to my account and it was because of that. So I hope that that becomes more consistent moving forward because I'd much rather have my account credited or debited, whether I overpay or underpay, than have my buyer have to go through the hassle of having to like pay more and then me refund them or all those things. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you were at Open last year, they had they always have somebody from the post office. I forget his name, but it's usually the same guy every year. And he talked about how the post office was, upgrading their computer systems, and this was going to be what they were moving towards. I haven't seen a debit or credit on my account yet, and so that tells me that I'm perfect at my shipping.
There you go. You are. I mean, I weigh everything, so I am super careful. So for the most part, I would assume I would only ever overpay rather than underpay at this point. It did happen to me one time that it was like I sent something priority flat rate back when I first started, and I think it was a box, like a medium flat rate, and it was I think it was like bulging and I had like taped it all together and stuff. And somebody caught it and said, no, you need to pay a little bit more for this. So I felt super embarrassed and I felt really bad that I did that to my buyer. So I've been really, really careful ever since.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that because I probably just jinxed myself, because with having Sydney ship she weighs the stuff for me. And sometimes I've actually put the weight in my listing. That's something that I've started doing later so my earlier listings don't have the weight in there. But sometimes I'm like, are you sure that's, 4 ounces? Because I'm showing it as 8 ounces. So, and she'll double check it for me. But with that, I could say I'm perfect, but I've got another person in there. So I don't know, maybe they just haven't.
Control, maybe it becomes a little bit more difficult the more people are involved. So.
Yeah. So, Sydney's we've only had a couple of hiccups and nothing that I wouldn't have done myself. So I'm not, upset or anything, but in looking at my PayPal account, I'm just surprised. Now, do you get an email notification when that happens?
When I get credited?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
How do you know that you did?
It only happened one time and it came through eBay messages and it said something like, it was like, you overpaid. And so I got it was a really small amount, but I was like, oh, great, the program's working. So I don't know if, how widespread it is throughout the whole postal service. I'm not really sure if it's just like a random thing or what, if they're doing it with every single package, but I don't know. I like it because it's going to make me a lot more efficient. And if I am overweighing things, which I'm more likely to round up, I'd much rather get that money back. I'm sure there's some sellers out there who it's going to hurt a little bit if they're always purposely underpaying for their shipping, but that's their problem.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's just dumb. Because the post office, with how automated it is, and that barcode that they scan, it has all the information in there. So they can weigh. As a package goes by and it's getting you don't want to do that. It's too easy. There's not. Bob the postman sitting there weighing the package going, okay, this is 7 pounds and they only paid for 5 pounds. That's not happening. So don't take the chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Stacy from Right Brain Boutique asked about the website again. It is FitShipper, I believe fitshipper.com. It's you pay $5 a month and no matter how many packages you send. The very first one that I did, I saved $7. So right away it paid for itself. I know that there are other sites that do the cubic priority rates. I think that is it pirate ship or what? There's like one that's like pirate something. Anyway, so there are other websites that do it, and I know the pirate one I think is free, but their rates are slightly different. I think some are cheaper, some are more expensive. So you just kind of have to like look around. I like the Fit Shipper one. Chris Lynn he did an interview with him a while back. So if you want to go and look at Chris Lynn's channel and look that up, 10K on the Bay, although he just changed to, what is it? Daily Refinement.
Daily Refinement, yeah.
Yeah, he just changed his name to Daily Refinement. He's making some changes to his channel and kind of like how he's doing things. But anyway, if you go back and look at that video, it has a lot of really good detailed information. Chris is a numbers guy. And so if you like really direct, detailed, numbered kind of information, he's a good guy to like follow. But that's where I learned about Fit Shipper, and it's definitely saved me a lot of money so far. So.
Yep, it's awesome. So if you're like me, with my, my shipping from Vegas, my 2-box debacle, I got lucky on that one because I printed one label twice, and it was a $47 label, but I shipped 2 34-pound boxes to Northern California. They refused them, and it got returned to me, and I didn't end up paying any extra postage. So
I don't know.
The postage gods were shining on me that day because I was so nervous.
I guess the only thing is that you weren't able to get that stuff into Amazon as quickly as you wanted to. So you might have been slower getting sales, but basically it turned out pretty great for you.
It turned out pretty, yeah. I mean, I got all my stuff back, and it didn't. I was afraid that it was going to cost me $60 extra for each box or something. And after the $50 I had already paid, and so I know I was very grateful. That's what I said to myself, this is why being honest in all your shipping pays off. Because yep, I should have paid more for those boxes. And anyway, so.
All right. So Victoria Smith, it looks like you've got your picture and audio working. So hooray. Glad to see you here. Okay. So I wanted to talk about, I know somebody in the thread was talking about they really wanted to get their sales numbers up. Like that's kind of like why they're focusing on doing this listing thing today. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like, how you get your sales numbers up. What is it all about? Is it about listing? Is it about how many listings that you have? I have just over almost 1,600 listings right now. I have like 1,585 or something like that. Yeah. So that's what my listings are at right now. Theresa, I know you have way more than I do, but I think this is going to be like a really good lesson into it's not just about one factor that's going to get you lots of sales. You really have to look at the whole picture, and you need to be paying attention to all the different things that go into keeping your sales going. So Theresa, how many do you have right now?
I have between the two stores, I just ended a bunch of listings. I'm going to guess 3,200 between the two stores.
Okay, so 3,200, that's a lot.
I was at 3,700, but I deleted a bunch of dead listings. And so you want to talk about what makes a difference. So at 3,700 listings, my sales are pathetic. But I've said this before, my store has been on autopilot since June, and I haven't really listed much or anything like that. So this is the week where I'm starting, and I'm just going to go and I'm just going to list, and I'm just going to knock them out. I mean, I've got so many pictures, and I'm just going to knock them out, and my sales will go up. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, Theresa has like double the listings that I have, but she hasn't really added new listings for
about 1% of the sales.
Almost a year now.
I know.
That's a lot.
But here's the good thing.
Yeah.
That up until about maybe 6 weeks ago, I was happy with my sales. I mean, they were coasting right along, and I was doing okay, and I put my store on vacation or whatever, and it would still pick up. Now it's like my sales are really bad, and I'm like, so that's what's kicking me into gear. Like, okay, right. I can't be on autopilot anymore. I gotta work the business.
And you had other sources of income coming in, and it's if you have 3,200 listings and you are actively adding to that and actively like turning over listings and sales, your sales will be like way higher than they are right now. And so now you're kicking it into gear and hopefully making it happen.
And I'm doing different things. I'm going for a higher ASP, and I'm going for, as I'm listing my stuff and looking at my stuff, I'm not, my donation pile is bigger. I'm not just about listing anything that I have anymore. My time's too valuable. So, a whole shift in the way I'm doing my business. I used to be listed and forget it, and I didn't care if I had a listing that was 5 years old. Well, I just dumped all those 5-year-old listings, and I'm done. And I'm getting ready to, I've got a whole bunch of DVDs, And I'm going to leave my DVDs active just because they're in Williams, and which is my other location 3 hours north. But I'll make a trip up there in, I don't know, the next 6 weeks or so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my DVDs down, and I'm just going to bunch them up in lots of 20 to 30 or whatever, and just put $30 for these 30 DVDs. I don't really care. I just want to get rid of them, and try that. But I can't do that because I can't take pictures and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, anyways, I'm changing. I'm just trying different things. I'm doing auctions. I haven't done auctions in 20 years. So
well,
I'm
that's the whole thing where I say, like, you should always be learning. So it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. You're always going to come across new ideas or new ways, new approaches that you should be taking. And you have to be like constantly bringing in new knowledge and trying out new things. Because if you just get stuck doing the same thing all the time, you're selling yourself short, and you're probably not going to be making as much money as you could be making.
Yeah, and eBay changes. I mean, everything changes. E-commerce changes, buyers change. And, you know, on the new store, I was talking to somebody that opened like 3 or 4 new stores, and he kind of took his main store and subdivided it out. And I asked him, like, what did you do? And he's like, try auctions. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about auctions. And he didn't have any problems. So I don't know. I've got my stuff on sale. I've got it being promoted, and I just need that one sale. I did get my first feedback from eBay shipping because I ordered tape and postcards this morning. So I got my automatic feedback. Yeah. So I got my first feedback.
Debbie Porter, ASP is average sale price.
Sorry about that.
So I am actually going to be doing a video sometime in the near future talking about kind of setting goals and figuring out what selling model you want to follow. Some people, it's about, when they talk about scaling up, they're talking about increasing the volume of their sales, like how many things that they're actually selling over a certain amount of time. And they're very much about, like, you know, just upping the quantity and getting like lower priced items and really like hustling and getting them out. And then there's other sellers who are focused more on bringing up their average sale price. And that's kind of where my focus has been. When I started back in, my first sale was in very end of 2015. So really 2016 was my first year. When I kind of got to where I was really at a full-time level in the fall of 2016, I remember that my average sale price was at about $20. And I've been slowly increasing that. And I remember the month after that was 25, and then it went to 30, and then it went to 35. And now I'm right at, like, just this weekend, I did like 18 sales, and my average sale price was $58. I'm usually like right around $50 right now. So that's where I've been focusing on. I mean, I'd rather ship out 18 items on Monday, making almost $60 on each of those items, than have to ship out 60 items and make the same amount of money, but takes me 3 times as long to get it out, and 3 times as long to photograph it, 3 times as long to list it. So that's kind of like how I do my model of how I sell. And so I am going to be doing a video sometime in the near future kind of talking about that, because I want to make sure that people kind of have a really clear understanding of like where they're going with their selling, and they aren't just diving in and kind of going willy-nilly and, you know, basically hustling so hard to make just a dime when you could be filling out a little bit and making $1. So
yep. And that's, you know, so for me, the same thing is like, you got to think about these things. And if you're just starting out, I just tell people sell what you have, and it doesn't matter, because sometimes you need those lower sales, you know, those lower listing prices to get your first couple of sales. But certainly if you're you're doing this as a business, you don't want to be, do not sell a t-shirt for, what was it, $3.99, $3 with $2.99 shipping or whatever that shirt was I saw this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, you're making zero money.
Right.
So if that's your only thing to sell, then you got to sell it for $15 or $20. I don't know. I don't know why they were selling it so cheaply.
Right. And I mean, it does work for other people to do it differently. Like if you look at somebody like Chris Lynn, again, 10K on the Bay, like he's focused on, I mean, I'm sure he's also focusing on finding higher quality items, but he also is very much focused on volume. But he has a plan that he's putting into place. He has people that work for him right now. He has a plan for how he's going to bring in more people. And so the only way that his kind of goals will work is because he has the manpower behind it, and he's not doing it solo. So again, I'll be doing a video to kind of talk about that, so that you can hopefully be a little bit more deliberate in like how you grow your business and where you put your efforts. But let's go back to talking about listing, since that's what this whole party is about, is the listing party, and being able to bring your sales numbers up. So yes, having a decent amount of listings in your store is important. You want to have a lot of listings. The more listings you have, the more stuff you have available to sell. So it is important. I found that when I was just starting my store and I went into clothing, you know, I do mainly used clothing, I would say I hit about 250 listings before I started to see kind of more regular sales coming in, and it wasn't so sporadic. And then once I hit probably around like 800 to 1,000 in the fall of 2016, that's like when it's like I hit the ground running, and I don't think I've had a day where I've had no sales since then. So yes, the numbers are important, right? But a lot of that also has to do with the fact that I list almost every single day. So it's all about the regular listing and being active as much as possible and being consistent with that. And so I'm really excited, Theresa, to see like what happens like once you get really full into getting all your stuff listed. Because I know you have like some crazy goals with that. It's actually a conversation you have with Chris Lynn. Tell us what your goal is, or your plan.
Which one?
Well, the one, because he was talking about how there's very few people, I think, that hit a certain amount net profit each month. And so you decided that you were going to make it a certain number your goal, because you already own all of the stuff that you're going to be listing. You're not having to like go out and source it.
Right.
So you have like a goal of what you want to try to achieve with the stuff you're listing now.
I don't remember what that is, as far as like,
wasn't it like $8,000 a month you wanted to like net?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I know I could net $8,000 a month if I started listing this. So what I'm doing is I'm listing all the stuff from my old house. And so I'm excited to list all the stuff from my sewing room. I'm a quilter in a previous life. Someday I may be a quilter again, but all that stuff, that all fabric and all that, I mean, it's just worth a lot of money. And the quilting industry is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. And so, you know, I look through this stuff, and it's just exciting to me to like want to list it and see what, you know, want to see what it, how much. I look in the stuff in the boxes and I just see dollar signs. That's what I tell people. And so that's the fun part for me, is that I sold the stuff that was on the wall in my laundry room and made $1,100. And I can guarantee you, I didn't spend $200 buying it. So, and it's hung on the wall for 15 years. So,
well, Victoria was just like going through our closet and pulling out like all of these Coach purses that she used to use all the time, but she hasn't even like used them since she moved here like 5 years ago. And so she's like, you know, why do I even still have these? Like, I don't anticipate ever using them again. And so she was going through them all, and she keeps really good care of them. She still has like the tags and like the receipts from when she bought them. And she's got like the matching wallets. And so she started looking them up, and she was like, oh, this one will sell for like $150. This will sell for like $100. And it's like, you just have like money laying around your house, not even just in your death piles of stuff that you need to get listed, but even just other random stuff that you have around.
Yep. And we all know that, you know, start with clothes, because it's easy to ship. It's easy to list. Clothes sell. I hate listing clothes, but they do sell. So, but even just stuff in your, I was cleaning out one of my cabinets of my mom's, and she has these beautiful sunflowery something dishes that she bought on a trip somewhere. We never use those dishes, and I'm trying to get her to let me sell them on eBay, but she doesn't, you know, and that's okay. She's not there yet, but eventually I tell her, that's fine. When you're dead, then I'll sell them for you.
There you go. So the other part is, okay, so listing regularly, like that to me is like I think that's almost the most important part. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that goes into it, but if you're not listing regularly, then you're going to be in trouble. So it's great that we're doing this 3-day party, and everyone's really excited and has all these goals. But what I'm really hoping is that it's going to be like a little jump start into creating some new habits. If you're somebody that has a hard time keeping on top of your listing, and like setting some goals for when we're not doing a listing party, to make sure that you continue to list regularly. And I promise you, if you're just starting out, if you're struggling with sales, if you start listing regularly and keep at it, it will change your sales. It will up your numbers. I really do promise you that.
If you're starting out, make yourself a goal to list 10 things a day. It's not that hard to list 10 things a day. 10 pairs of jeans, make them like items, and they'll list even faster. But 10 things a day will get you to start selling things at a much faster pace than if you only list 2 or 3 things every couple of days. And I know if you're a beginner seller or you're just, trying to ramp it back up like I am, it's hard. It's hard to stay motivated when you're not selling anything. And, you watch these videos and you see, Katie or somebody, whoever is making $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month. And you're like, wow, I had a $30 sale this weekend. eBay's vetting you. They got to make sure that you're a good seller and you're not going to rip off the buyers on the platform. There's a whole lot of things, but consistent listing will get you there faster.
Absolutely. And whenever I go through a time when like sales are a little slower, I see it as an opportunity to get my listing levels up. And so, if when I finally hit 1,500 listings, it's like all of a sudden I sold 10 things and then I had to like get back up to that number. So once you get to higher numbers, it gets a little bit harder. But if you go through a slow sales time, it's like you can get a bunch of listings up. And then the way I see it is when the next surge of buyers come around, you're going to have even more stuff to sell them. So it's like you just kind of have to like stick with it. And I know it can be a little discouraging, but hopefully if you get involved in like communities like this, it's going to help you kind of keep on track and keep listing. Because really, it's like it is probably the most important thing for sure.
Yep.
And then the other thing, so there are a lot of different factors, but it also has to do with the quality of your listings. Like I always talk about my whole mantra of remove all obstacles. Okay, so if you envision, let's say the population of the world was 100 people and they all want to buy your stuff, right? And it's like everything that you do to make it easier for them to buy from you is going to make it more likely that you're going to sell to them. So now look at it the opposite way. Everything you do to make it harder for them is just going to mean less people that are like looking at your item. So let's say you want the maximum 100 people to be able to buy from you, but then you don't offer international shipping. Or you charge shipping on your items and they happen to check the box that says free shipping, or you don't do free returns, or you charge a restocking fee. All that's going away now. But it's like every little thing that you do, it's either closing that door or it's opening it up wider. And the way I like to do it is I want that door to be as wide as possible. I want every single possible person that wants to buy from me to be able to buy from me. And so I'm going to do everything I possibly can. And when eBay comes out with like these new things like the free returns, all they're doing is they are looking at what the market is saying, what buyers are saying, what people want, and they want to make sure that you can sell as much as possible. They want more people to be coming to the eBay site to buy from us. And so if you are listening to their best practices, and I've been listening to their best practices from the day one that I started. And again, first sale was in 2015, December of 2015. I had a limit of 10 items a month. And the entire step of the way, all the way through, I've always followed their best practices. I've always tried to learn as much as I could. I've always done everything I could to maximize my sales. And that's how I was able to go from 10 item limit in January of 2016 to selling $8,500 worth of stuff in December of 2016. So in 1 year's time, I was able to hit the end of fourth quarter and do $8,500 of sales on mostly stuff I found at the bins. So it's all about like really focusing in, listening to all the tools, like taking in all the information, taking advantage of all the tools that eBay gives us. They want us to succeed. All they care about is that we are doing well, because the better we do, the better they do. And so focusing on how you can do those things and how you can make those changes, how you can do everything that you need to do your best possible listing, best pictures, best policies, everything. It all comes together. And then bottom line, list. That's what you got to do. I see you nodding your head, Theresa.
Well, yeah, I mean, all those things, I'm like you, I'm a big believer in eBay best practices. And I tell people all the time, eBay doesn't give away too many trade secrets, but when they tell you that you should be doing free shipping and people that say, oh, I can't afford to do free shipping, I'm like, yes, you can. You just add the shipping to the price of your item. I do it all the time. And it frustrates me that people have this mentality that you have to be the lowest price on eBay to sell your item. And it's not that. I mean, I'm always the highest price and mine sell. And so what I tell people is to quit trying to sell like a buyer. So like you would buy something. Like a lot of buyers don't know how to search and find the lowest price and look, lowest price with shipping or whatever. And if eBay says that more people are clicking on that toggle for free shipping, if I've got a jacket for $150 with free shipping, and Katie's got the same jacket with $75 with $5 shipping, they're not even going to see hers. So talk about removing all obstacles. I want every buyer to be able to find my stuff. So if, 50% of the buyers are, I just made that number up, I don't know what it is, but are, clicking on that free shipping option, I want those buyers in my store.
Right. Even if it's 10%, I mean, that's still, and the thing is, it's like each little detail, offering free shipping, doing your own international shipping rather than using the global shipping program, because there's a lot of Canadians who say they will not buy from a seller who uses global shipping program because it costs them more money. So right there, you're shutting the door to those potential buyers. And I sell a lot to people in Canada. So it's like, it all adds up. Now, the Violet Lemon, not the Violent Lemon, as I was calling her yesterday. She asked if I've seen growth month over month or a downturn at all by using those best practices. Honestly, I'll have sales go up and down, but I would say the overall trend for me has been going up and up and up. I'm always doing better. Right now, I'm up a lot over last month because I did a lot of, I really sourced a lot over the last month or so, and especially new stuff. So I've seen kind of a jump. I always see a jump when I do that. But overall, I'm up over last year by, actually, I can go look right now. Over last year, I am up 36.9% over last year in my two main categories, which is coats and jackets and t-shirts, because I do a lot of jackets. The market is only up 10%
awesome.
At the same time last year. Compared to the last 31 days, I'm up 21.2%. The market is up 6.3%. But I definitely see, I did, during fourth quarter this year, my numbers were definitely up, but they probably weren't up as much as they could have been because I was busy working on moving to Vegas in the middle of fourth quarter because I'm crazy. So, so I wasn't getting as much listing done as I should have been able to do. It definitely made it so my sales weren't as up as they should have been, but I still did better this fourth quarter than I did the fourth quarter before. I did 10,000 in December instead of the 8,500 I did the previous one. And now I'm having my last 31 days, I'm over 9,000. So I've definitely seen my numbers go up. And again, I'm always following those best practices. Instead of freaking out when new stuff comes along, like free returns, I look at it as an opportunity for me to be a better seller and for me to get a little step ahead of some of the other sellers and to have better listings. It's all about having the best listings, because I'm the same as Theresa. I usually price at the higher end, if not the highest, because I bank on the fact that I know my pictures are better than probably 95% of the other pictures that are done that aren't stock photos. I know that my policies are at the best that they can be with the free returns, free shipping, international shipping. And I know that, I have great feedback and all those things together. I know that I can demand the best prices, and it works. It's not all about the bottom line. It's not all about the cheapest thing that's out there. You can still make money doing it that way.
Yep.
Oh, Violet Lemon says that she's a secret punk rock band. I want to go see the Violet Lemons, man. I want to see that happen.
I thought no, the punk rock band is the Violent Lemons.
But yeah,
Violet Lemons.
Anytime I'm listing something new and I look at the other stuff that's available, if I go click on it and it says that they don't accept returns, I'm yes, because to me, they're not competition for me. I know that I'm more likely to get that sale than they are because they don't accept returns. And, people, I think the problem is that people really focus on individual sales and individual transactions. And so, if you get a return or something gets lost, or, you look at this one thing and you're I'm sure Theresa, especially with you dealing with Amazon, I'm sure if you looked at individual items and how much they ended up costing you, I think you have items that you probably paid for somebody to have. You didn't even make money on, you lost money on. And so if you looked at it an individual transaction and you based your whole success around the failure of that one transaction, you would be out of a job. You wouldn't have any business. Right. You just can't do that. You have to look at the big picture. That's part where the numbers come into this, boss business, is being able to look at the overall numbers. You have to look at everything all together. It's one big picture. You can't just focus on one success or failure of one transaction, or you're just going to end up getting yourself in trouble.
In the class that I was teaching this morning, a bunch of newbies, which I love the new sellers. I was trying to explain to them that whole thing about, how do you do shipping? Like people get all wrapped around the axle with shipping and how do you price shipping for free shipping? And so I'm all about just quick and easy, simple things. So anything under 8 ounces, I just charge $3 for. Anything 8 ounces to a pound is $6. Now, sometimes if you do it flat rate shipping, it's going to be $6, $7. So you have to think about that. But then international, so then I go from there, it might be $10. And I round up too. It's like, if I want to, I was working with somebody that was pricing 3 pairs of boys shorts. And I said, okay, so if you want $5 a piece for those shorts, then that was $15. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to ship it in there. We're over a pound. So we're going to ship it in a flat rate padded. And that was going to be $7. So we added that, and that's now $22. And I said, eBay and PayPal fees are going to be 15%. I'm like, $24.99. Like, and so then somebody looked it up and they're like, wow, you were right on. These are like $22, $25. And so that's experience, but I mean, that's how you have to look at stuff to round it up from your price. And so I was telling them about international shipping. Okay. International shipping and just my flat rate of, and this is what you were talking about, where you can't look at every transaction, but what I do for international shipping is 0 to 8 ounces is $14.99. 9 ounces to 2 pounds is $24.99. 2 to 3 pounds is $34.99, and 3 to 4 pounds is $49.99. And the 3 to 4 pounds actually come about $47. But in some of those, if you go to Japan, it might be more. But most of the stuff goes to Canada or Australia. It's going to be a few dollars less. And so some items I'm going to be making a few bucks on, and some's going to be, I might lose a few bucks. But it's all about, those numbers are in my head. I don't have to look things up. I don't have to, figure out what it is. And with international shipping, because all of my items are free shipping, so if I have those 3 pairs of shorts, I've already added $6 into that $25 fee for shipping. If somebody from Japan buys it, they're paying me that $6 in shipping that I already have in the listing if it sells domestic. Plus, they're going to be paying another $24.99, and it might cost me $22. So I've made another $2 and then $6, and it's like, that's why you can't get all wrapped up about, oh, I lost $3 on this, I have to raise my international shipping prices. If you want to calculate each one out individually, you have way more time than I do.
Yeah, so, and I love international sales for that very reason, because I do free shipping. And so when I get an international sale, they pay for the shipping. Plus, I usually, with my shipping discount, make an extra few bucks. So yep. It's a much better deal for me. And even, I've said this before, if I have something go wrong and something gets lost and I don't have insurance on it and I'm out even $200, let's say, it's like overall the amount of money I've made on all of my international sales is like huge compared to that $200 loss. And if you're running a business and you're trying to do this full time, and a one-time loss of $200, and I'm not saying it's not going to hurt, but you have to be prepared that you're going to have some losses every now and then in order to be successful doing this. And that can't ruin you, and you can't close the door on all of those sales, those future sales, just because you're scared of that one potential loss that happens very rarely. So it's like, you just have to look at the big picture.
International sales are about 25% of my sales.
Yeah, so. I do a lot too. So, I mean, I have a pair of, I just did them in the haul video yesterday. We showed what sold. I had a pair of Adidas shoes that I bought at the Adidas outlet. I think I paid less than $20 for them, sold them for $90 to a guy in Japan. And then he paid $35 to have them shipped there. And it's like, with the discount, I think I ended up paying like $30 for the shipping. So basically, I took a $90 pair of shoes. If I would have sold it domestically, it would have cost me probably, depending on where it was going, but let's say around $10 to ship those shoes, right? So I would have ended up with $80 in my pocket. With this guy, I'm sending it, I get the $90, plus he pays for the shipping, and I get an extra $5 from that shipping because of my shipping discount. So I end up with $95 in my pocket as opposed to $80. So I just made $15 more because I did the shipping. And because I did it myself, if you do GSP, if you do a global shipping program, you'd ship it to Kentucky and then they would ship it. So if you have free shipping, I would have taken those shoes, sold it to the guy in Japan, but I would have sent it to Kentucky, and I would have had to pay for the shipping to Kentucky, and then they would send it on. So again, yes, there's a very, very small amount of added risk to doing your own international shipping, but overall, you make way more money doing it that way, and it's just a better way to go. Todd was asking I think he was asking me if I'm always running sales. Yes, I am running sales every single day. It really is different. Every seller needs to figure this out, needs to experiment, because everybody's going to have a different way that works for them. The way I price my items, I actually price my items at double what I will take for them. So let's say I have a jacket and I want to get $100 for it minimum. I will actually price it $199.99. And then I'm constantly running sales on all of my stuff. And I go back and forth between 40% and 50% off. And that leaves a little bit of room for best offer, because I have best offer on all of my items. I know some people aren't into doing best offer, but it works for me. Now, that does put my prices at like this really high amount sometimes, but I trust that my listings are better than most other sellers.
Hello?
I see a lot of sellers out there who have the absolute worst pictures. There's stuff on the floor, stuff on their bed. The lighting's terrible. The color is different. The light, the brightness and darkness of the picture is different in every picture, and it just looks awful. If they were trying to charge the same price as I am, even with a 50% off sale, they probably would never sell an item. So you really have to kind of play around with it and see what works for you. I've done lower sales, I've done higher sales, and that's just kind of like my sweet spot. I know for other people, like 15% or 18%. It's like everybody has like their own little sweet spot that like works for them. All right. Do we have any other questions? Look like Theresa had a call. We got a few more minutes here before we're going to send you guys back out to get back to work on your listings. I need to like buckle down these next couple hours so I can hit my goals. Yeah, Victoria Smith makes a good point. When you send stuff to Global Shipping Program, you ship it to Kentucky, and then they actually repackage most of them. So any of the care and thought you put into packaging up those items to send them out, a lot of times they're repackaged. And so it's like, is it risk-free? Technically, sort of, yes, it's risk-free, but your sales are going to go down. Your international sales are going to go down if you're doing that. Barbara Colson has done 3 more listings while watching us. You are out of control, Barbara. Nice work. Let's see. Oh, somebody said Euro X. I don't know how to say your name. Euro XTRM says that they sent 2 pairs of Allen Edmonds to Norway to 2 separate people on the same day. So pretty impressive. Let's see. Any other questions, guys, or any other
Sorry
comments?
about that.
That's all right.
I got a phone call I've been waiting for, so sorry.
Oh, and Lorna got 5 more done. So Barbara, I was just saying, Barbara already got 3 more listings done while we were doing the show, and Lorna's done 5 more. So they are taking care of business.
Awesome.
Okay, Gems and Gifts USA. If international customer claims item not as described, do we have to pay return international shipping? Okay, well, generally, it's the same thing as if you have a domestic buyer. If somebody says that the item's not as described, it just depends on how you work it out with your buyer. You can offer a partial refund. You can tell them they need to return it. You can give them a full refund. Like, you can decide what you want to do with it. Sometimes you're going to decide that it's not worth, but yes, if it's item not as described and you're having them return it, you will have to pay the return shipping. So sometimes you're going to decide that it's just not worth it, and you're going to try to offer them a partial refund. To be honest, like, I have done so many international sales. I think I've only had it happen one time that somebody wasn't super stoked about about what they got, and I was able to offer them a small partial refund, and then they were happy. It really doesn't happen a lot. I feel like it probably happens even less when it comes to international sales. Like, returns are almost non-existent when it comes to international sales. Like, people just don't want to hassle with it. They don't want to deal with it. And I also think that there's a certain amount of, like, they just don't, once they buy it, they're not going to like deal with that. So it's not a big issue. I don't really see that being a problem.
I agree. I got a golf ball back. I think that's the only, like, in the last year and a half, that's the only thing I can remember that I got returned from international shipping. And they paid for the return shipping, and I forget what the issue was. I don't know I think they thought they were getting a dozen. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but they paid, and it was like, you know, by the time you pay it to ship it back, it was almost as much as they paid for the golf ball, and I got it back to sell again. So
yeah, I would say the biggest issue I've run into with international sales is when you do your own international shipping, they still have to pay any customs fees, like once it gets into their country. Yeah. So depending on the country, I don't know exactly how it works, if they have to go to the post office or what, but they owe whatever the customs fees are. So what I have had happen, I'd say probably a handful of times, is somebody will buy something from me. It gets delivered to like their post office or whatever. And then they realize they have to pay, they decide they don't want to have to pay like the $20 or whatever the extra fee is. And so they just won't pick up their item. And so then what happens is eventually it's going to get sent back to you. But here's the thing, guys. If it has arrived at its destination and is ready for them to pick up, and it shows up in the tracking that way, that is considered, it's been delivered. If it comes back to you, even if it doesn't show up in tracking, let's say it comes back to you, there'll be a note on the label and it'll say that it was attempted or that they never picked it up or they never paid, and it comes back to you. First of all, you have your item back. Second of all, because they didn't pick it up, they didn't pay their customs fees, they actually forfeit their buyer protection. So technically, you don't have to refund them anything. Now, I think ethically, you have a responsibility if you have received the item back and you have it back in your possession and you can resell it. I think you should be refunding them their money for the item purchase, but you do not have to refund them the shipping cost. So I've had that happen a couple times where I get something back and it's clear that they just didn't bother to go pick it up because they decided they didn't want to spend the extra money. And I will refund them their purchase price, but they're out that $20 or $30 that it costs to ship it to them, because there's no reason why I should have to pay for that. And you don't have to pay that back. So that's probably the number one problem I've encountered with international shipping. And in those cases, I'm not out any money. So it's like, it's just, you know, what, you have to relist it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. We are at 2:58. All right, guys. So our hour's just about up. We got to get back to work. I need to double down here. I still need to do at least 21 new listings today in order to hit my minimum of 25 new listings today. Again, if you want to win some sweet prizes, Theresa was just describing like a few of those. She's going to have some eBay tape, some awesome postcards. We're going to gather up some other eBay swag, and we'll see what I can get together for you guys. But the ways that you can enter, you have two chances by participating in today's Boss Facebook thread and participating in tomorrow's Boss Facebook thread, and then also commenting on this video and tomorrow's video after the live show. So it's actually in the comment section down below. So you'll have 4 chances to enter. And then also there'll be another prize that we'll give out only to the people who are participating in the live show on Wednesday night. So tomorrow, this is going to go from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and our live show is going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're actually going to have a special guest. We'll check in with Theresa too, but we're going to have a special guest from the East Coast. I won't tell you who it is yet, but you're going to get to talk to her tomorrow. And we're going to see what's going on the East side. And then we'll have some other special things happening on Wednesday as well. But thank you guys so much for participating. And thank you for being here for the live show. I really appreciate it. And any feedback you want to give us through this process. This is the first time we've done anything like this, so we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know what kind of problems we might come into, but I'm hoping that we can keep doing more of these. I'm thinking about doing them more regularly, but just like one-day events as opposed to like this extravaganza of like 3 days. But hopefully this is going to kickstart some of your guys' like new habits of listing every single day when possible. If you can't do every single day, do 6 days. If you can't do 6 days, do 5. But do what you can, even if it's just a handful. You want to keep active. You want to keep listings going. Theresa, thanks for being here with me. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again. See you in the Facebook group. Bye, guys.